People are watching.
Does it tell you if there are people on YouTube? Does it?
Call to order.
People watch.
Ah,
Fair
there'd be
enough.
light.
How?
Bet they're county commissioners.
Yes.
Roll call
All right, we got, Bryce,
here.
here, Long's here, Bernard,
Yep.
Olson.
Yep.
Lights. Here.
And then remember to speak into the microphone for the folks on YouTube.
Agenda revisions and or approvals. Anybody have any?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support that motion.
Motion and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed. Consideration of approving the minutes of September 11th, 2025 committee meeting. I have any discussion on that, or we have a motion?
I was saying they were in the calendar invite and then
Yep.
they're also on your desk. So
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi,
Opposed? Motion passed.
there she is.
Hi.
Bro, and with bro.
Thank goodness. I thought Jason was gonna have to take the minutes.
Oh.
she's taking to the ball game.
Make me sit up here. Started.
Yeah, show up late. That's what happens.
Or yeah, as far as we went.
You get what seat is left?
Discussion now. Thank you, thank you. Ready, huh? It's quick.
You should be coughing right now.
Just stand up and
This
Just
place.
for my tardiness. That's all right.
We actually have hockey tonight.
Happy to continue on.
I'm not playing.
We're up to discussion regarding general operating millage and other funding sources.
So I left the discussion item on the agenda because we kind of left the last meeting with quite a bit of discussion and just some thinking to do over the last month. So I left discussion on there if we wanted to quick go back over kind of what we talked about, or just if there's any other items of interest or topics that have come up since then. So before we consider any sort of recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. So I guess, is there any discussion? Anything from a township level that you can think of? I mean, when we think about funding sources and township revenue sharing, have you thought about that and the long-term impacts of the changes at the state of Michigan? Does that give you any more need of a new general operating millage?
Yeah. I think it would be beneficial across the board. Not that every township would be utilizing if it were to happen, but I think it would be beneficial to have the option.
Mhm.
That's my take.
Yeah, I agree. Not much further than that. I mean, that's.
With the state budget, I mean, given, I know we're still trying to like get into the nuances of it with school because it was so, I mean, literally people didn't see it till 3 hours before they
Last
voted.
minute, yeah.
I know.
But I mean, is there any like headline issues around local government revenue sharing, whatever that like lay people like myself would have missed that would feed into this that's important?
Yeah, so
It went down.
yeah, so county revenue
Purdue?
sharing this year did stay the same as last year, thankfully. It's going to go down. We don't have constitutional revenue sharing at the county, townships do. But the interesting thing is the constitutional revenue sharing is a percentage of state sales tax, and they've diverted many dollars from state sales tax.
Mhm.
So in essence, lowering the revenue sharing going to townships. So looking into the future, probably you won't see the effects for 2 years. Your revenue sharing is going to go down from a township level, probably for the counties as well. So thinking about that long term as well, that's another revenue that we're going to see probably going down, or at least not keeping up with inflation.
Yeah.
That's all on
Yeah.
the general fund, right? At the
It's-
state,
Feels
and the state general fund has been struggling
yes,
dramatically. I know because they're raiding the school aid fund to,
right.
Mm-hmm.
but to
Well, and
offset.
the diversion of sales tax is huge. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to think about. And I think it's another, part of the education of the community of, there's needs now, but there's needs that are gonna be here very very fast
100%,
based on how the state's working out things.
100%.
Which is, we don't even know those. Yeah, it's like, if we don't have an answer to tell people, like, we need money because of this, because maybe,
Yeah.
there's just so many unanswered questions that,
They pulled out this year so normally higher ed comes out of general fund. They pulled an additional 400 million out of school aid to go to higher ed.
That's what Amy was saying in her presentation to us yesterday at the board level.
We're up to now over 1.5 billion in school aid goes to non-K-12, to community colleges and higher ed, which was constitutionally not how it was set up.
Yeah, how is that? How
Because
does that
the-
even work?
Because the general fund is struggling. And so that's part of like, I wondered about that part of the story, like,
Mhm.
and how that affects, I hear about it from a different perspective.
Well,
I
and
know it
they
has
too
down
had
butterfly.
allocated funding for law enforcement for counties. But now they've changed that too, and you have to be a high crime area to get the law enforcement money.
Sure.
We're not considered that because we're not Detroit and Wayne County
yeah.
and those sorts of things. So there's they've changed the color of the money a lot, and then
Yep.
they've lessened the money in certain pots. And so it's just making it harder and harder for counties, cities, villages, and townships because they continuously change what the money could be used for.
Sure.
Which we need to remember that too, I think at this level, because we're talking about general operating versus micro millages or whatever we want to call them, that,
Yeah.
Right.
which we've talked about the public being concerned about that. If we raise the operating millage on promises that,
What
and
if
we
they-
can't make that promise.
Right.
The commissioners can only go so far to make that promise.
Mm-hmm.
And if it all goes into the general fund, a lot more goes into the general fund than gets diverted somewhere else, like you're saying, your example, Matt, so.
Right. I think it makes it even harder for us because of what the state.
I know,
Right.
I know.
We're trying to operate at a different level.
Yep.
I'll say I've thought about it. For me, I will say I don't feel like I've really had any new information to change my general stance, to be honest with you
Okay.
guys. It was in the minutes, the last thing. I still think,
And I reflected that the right,
yeah,
that
no, that's
reflected-
perfect.
okay.
Yep, like I think that in my mind, we've come down to kind of several options. And the ranking, I think that you reflected in here is accurate. It's my preference ranking. I don't know if it's the best ranking. Like,
Mhm.
I think there's a difference for me. Like,
sure.
this is what I think should happen. I'm
For-
not sure if
yeah.
it's the most
Mhm.
pragmatic approach.
Right.
Does that make sense? But I think we had talked last time about not getting too into the weeds about trying to get all the pros and cons out, because frankly, the commission's got to do that anyway.
Yep.
Mhm.
If we try to micromanage that, they're just going to do the work again.
Right.
And our lane is our lane.
Right.
So I don't know. That's
Well, and just for those who are watching online, after the last meeting, we had kind of ranked 3 options with a general operating increase of 1.2, number 2, public safety law enforcement type millage, and number 3 was simply fixing deficits with, I like how you call it, micro millages. That's good.
But that's what I had written down. So I think you must have said that
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
normally.
that's how I've always referred to them, like is
So
all these
it's a
little
a la
0.1
carte
and the
menu.
0.17 and the,
And that's what I mean is people have shown that they
They like
they
the a
like
la
that.
carte
That's,
menu.
they don't have to have trust in their government if that's how they vote on
Right.
those things.
it's just, yeah, it's my least favorite option, but
Mhm.
in terms of what it means to running efficiently and
Right.
running thoughtfully, but
I think I like the option number 1 myself.
same,
It is the
it's the hardest lift.
It is
But I
the
think it's
hardest
the right
lift,
lift.
but it's the
Yeah.
easiest and cleanest for all the townships in the county.
I mean, ultimately, it's
that's the
what's
thing.
needed. It's what's necessary.
Well, yeah, that's what's truly needed to impact the whole county, because if we simply go after like a law enforcement millage, those townships that really need a reset are still suffering.
Does not address that other part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
Which we haven't talked about much.
Mhm.
given, Sheriff Rosa's conversations last time too, I mean, that takes into account his
Mhm.
concerns.
I was just gonna ask that on our list here, number 2, with his concerns. I really don't, I wouldn't think that would be an option. feasible option because he would be against it and he may end up losing good policemen from it. What his concerns were was not backup plan, so
You know, and his concerns are good,
they're valid.
but you know, if this doesn't pass either, he's gonna end up losing. So either
Right.
Same
way.
type of deal.
Yeah.
it-
Yeah.
He's
it's-
got money in two
22,
places.
you know, you're-
Yeah.
He's got two, he's got. him
Unfortunately,
in Jail
yeah.
when it's all said and done if we
Yep.
don't pass it, but
Right.
he won't have.
I mean,
Mhm.
Well, and I do think from what I gathered from while he was here is he's gonna support what this board recommends forward and the board ultimately puts on the ballot.
Sure.
Right.
He's gonna support it. He's just concerned.
I agree.
I think
You
we're
know,
all
if you
concerned
look at
about
this, like,
it.
I feel like if you look at this, like the three bears, you got kind of a mama bear, a pop bear and a
Yeah.
baby bear, like a just right.
Right.
And that middle option of the public safety law enforcement millage does try to hit the middle, I think, of not, throwing it into the general fund, which some people would struggle with, but not continuing the current state, which is not really the micro millage just feels like we're kicking the can and
Right.
doing what we've always done.
Right.
Um, and like, it's still not for, again, I'm just wondering if our work really is done if we have these and their rank, do we need to agree on a rank order or do we give the three of them to the county and say,
Or one of us makes a motion to move one of these forward.
Pick one of
Right.
them. Yeah.
yeah,
And I would actually like to make a motion right now for option number one, general operating 1.2 mil increase as a recommendation to the Benson County Board of Commissioners.
I'll support.
All in favor?
No
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah, I feel like, yeah, we need some discussion.
Oh, come on.
So, Jason, can you talk a little bit about like what you're, like, make your thinking visible here a little bit? What you-
This has been a long process here. We've heard from a lot of people. We've all beat this thing to death, I think. And just what we've been saying, we've got three options really that we're looking at. The second one, it doesn't necessarily work across the board. The third option is just the same option. It's the same thing we've been doing. Whereas number one actually, will help fix things to where they should be, or
It's gonna solve more
Attempt.
problems than
Yeah.
the other ones.
Well,
The most
yeah,
easier to
problems
get-
compared to the others.
it's going to be difficult. They're all going to be difficult, but this
Sure.
is going to be difficult to get.
Cause I know 1.2 mil is, or the micro millage is, if for argument's sake, 0.9. I know it's not quite enough to fill the gap, but it's a start. Which one would be easier to sell to the public?
Yeah.
I will say, like, so this is just I have no data to back this up other than kind of experience and gut,
Mhm.
honestly, Randy, but I remember we like talked about this a lot when we were thinking about school millage, right? And like, does a 0.45 feel better than a 0.5? Like, or does a 0.5 feel better than a 1?
Mhm.
And I think those are valid and I don't think it's wrong. But I think in the end, I'm really not sure that it makes enough difference. I think when people
Agreed.
see increase, whether it's a half or a 1, like
Mhm.
increase is what they see first,
Yeah,
Right.
not the
increase-
number.
And last.
And so selling I don't like saying selling because that's not, it makes it feel like you're a salesman. You're not. Explaining, talking and rationalizing is the argument, not the amount.
Right.
And so like in my mind, if we were going to go down this way, I would suggest asking for what we actually need.
Which is-
and not short. Like
Which is
I think
what this
1.2
is.
is just as hard as a 0.9 is.
Right.
just
I mean,
as hard as a-
1.2 isn't the Taj Mahal here. I mean,
No.
obviously, this
It's-
is going to get the county where they need to be, and it will allow townships the same option, but in no way or sense is it going to be, the ultimate.
With
Not
the,
extravagant. We're not doing a
No
total
way.
reset
No.
here.
no,
No.
You know, we're just
With
resetting,
the-
we're just going back 1.2.
if the, we agree and vote on it and the commissioners put it forward, the 1.2, how many years is that gonna be projected before it has to increase again?
They would have to decide that, the terms of it.
Yeah. Could be,
Does this also involve any of those smaller millages that are like your
I don't think,
your
I think it just,
motion?
no.
The
it
ones
would
that are
just-
gonna
it
expire,
would
the
just-
TNT or the jail?
I think it did when we figured out.
When,
the-
because that's what I have, yeah.
Yeah, well, what do you have?
I have 1.14, and then that's, I think, where we got to 1.2
Mhm.
from that number.
I got you.
And it was TNT that expires this year, jail, which expires next year, and SRO, which expires in 27.
Right.
Hmm.
It's putting out, because those would all be covered under the additional dollars that would be towards the sheriff's department side through the general fund.
Through the
right?
general fund.
Those would just become, the idea is those positions don't go away, programs don't go away when the millages do, they become encompassed into the new general fund.
So it was
Except for the
SRO.
jail. The jail doesn't.
Not the jail, SRO, TNT, and what was the other one?
That was it. Those are the two that are.
TNT,
Well,
SRO.
animal Control too.
Right.
Yeah, I have ACO on here, which expires at the end of this year as well.
Yeah.
I just have it separately.
But does the 1 point, hypothetically, the 1.2, will that increase the general fund for county, or is that just a, you know, instead of having these?
Are you
3
gonna
or
have a
4
net zero at the end of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, so the county still doesn't, have any new revenue.
I think that's where the number came from. I think.
Yeah.
I think we think it, I think, I don't know if it was proposed by Kelly or,
1.2 came from what we would need to cover the sheriff if we were to pull the sheriff out.
Right.
And then that would be able to, for us to bring in, you know, to help 911, to help Parks and Rec and still have some money left over. We talked about bringing animal control in,
Right.
Right.
but leaving SRO, TNT in the jail by itself. That was a number I came up with that would,
Yeah.
So
Well-
essentially, we would be increasing 1.2, but letting the SRO is 0.1,
SRO is 0.14,
0.14,
TNT is 0.10,
0.10,
and animal control is 0.14.
0.14. So 0.35, about 0.34, sorry, bad math, 0.3438.
0.38 maybe?
Like
Yeah.
I said, sorry,
It's Wednesday.
it's almost 6
You gotta
o'clock.
line up your
I've
decimal
been working
points.
all day. I don't math at this time.
It's the
Sorry.
third Monday of the week.
Oh, boy. Sorry. So that was all mental. So 0.38. So it's really effectively, it's an increase of 0.8 theoretically. If we're really looking at this in terms of real tax impact.
Yeah.
And that 0.8 is what we're looking to fill the gap on 911.
Yep.
Fill the gap on Parks and Rec. And give the county just a little bit of breathing room
Mhm.
and flexibility to do the people's business.
Yep.
That's
Until
the-
something else, until
Right.
another decision has to be
Right.
made. Well, and I think that was in our discussion, if I remember, is again, selling it, for lack of a better word, selling it is, yes, there's this general millage increase, but this is what's falling off. This is
Mhm.
what we're allowing to expire that's
Yep.
being wrapped up into this as more of
I
a
think that would be an easier sell,
much easier.
you know, because you're not,
You have to give
technically, you're not
something with it.
increasing it.
You are, but
But
it's, yeah.
It's a minimal
yeah.
increase
Yeah.
because all the other millages drop off. So the amount out of your pocket.
Well, not all of them.
no, just
just-
two,
Oh.
just two. of them.
Well,
Some
we,
of it.
it's the combination of we have to do something because of that rollback going away. You know, we have to put something on the ballot next year.
Feel it's the best.
This
It's-
is the best
it's the
solution
best.
that we feel, that we've come up with.
You know what's crazy is that our last meeting, I was completely in a different mind state. But, you know,
The other piece to this, I think, though, that is important that you guys have talked about being is that it gives our townships flexibility.
Mhm.
Right now, they have none.
That's a huge piece of it.
And, no one has to do anything, but they at least have the ability.
right.
That's a big piece that I don't think I was considering last time, because I was definitely more in the realm of the law enforcement felt more achievable.
Right.
And I don't know that I necessarily think differently now, but that does not solve the issue, or it doesn't allow for a potential solution for local
Any of the
government.
townships, yeah. And there is no other way that we can
No.
Yeah.
go out on our own and do that. And that was something I looked into years ago in my early years, emailing MTA. How can we do this? Doesn't seem right.
So
You
Katie,
can't.
just for like a practical consideration. So let's say for a moment, we're still in the discussion phase. Let's say we vote.
Mhm.
We vote to pass this on just as said right here.
Mhm.
At that point, do the commissioners strictly only have the ability to up or down it? Or do they have the ability to tweak? Do they have the ability to come up with a completely new
They do
solution?
whatever they
Up or
want.
down.
Up or down?
That's their options.
Okay.
But what you
So-
give them, is what they consider. So they could say, yeah, we don't.
Oh,
like
really?
That tweak this and they'll send it back to you.
Oh, okay.
So if they say no to this, it kicks back to us to reconsider.
Gotcha.
And so the other thing I want to bring up though is, so we're saying we want to up the county 1.2, we're at a 3.23 now. But what does that mean for the townships? Because the townships can't go up 1.2 because they're a max of 1.7. And you have some townships that are
It's-
0.71.
It's gonna have to be, what's
Either-
the word? Figured out anyway. It's gonna have.
Good, it's good.
Like,
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 but-
Matt-
Our
like-
vocabulary is-
like Matt said- like Matt said, it's 6 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, it's like, like. Take into consideration the taxable value of each municipality and
What their rollback factors are.
Yeah.
and-
all.
Is it like a proportional thing? Like
Pretty much, yeah.
so they would have to look at
Yeah.
our increase relative to their tax base
Exactly,
and
thank
figure
you.
out what the
That's what I was trying
proportional
to,
share would be.
So we're-
that's
Yeah.
what I was trying to say.
So there's some math involved there that clearly
It's gonna
I'm
be-
not going to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's relative.
So it gives them some,
Townships who don't levy their full max.
really.
Yeah, so I just went through all the 25L 4029s. And the only two townships that don't levy their max are Blaine and Gilmore.
But this this gives them the opportunity to reset their max or no?
Not, it would be it'd
Proportionate.
be relative or proportionate of what we're increasing by. So unless you go back to 5.29 and then that puts the townships back up to the 1.71, I think it is.
I think it's 2-1.
Something like that.
think it's
We have to
1.21.
be- We have to move them the same.
But they would still be able to potentially readjust their max up some, not to the
Yeah.
historical max, but to
Correct.
some just like we are.
Yeah.
We're not
Yes.
we're not,
We
Relatively.
just have to figure out that math. So yeah, so Blaine,
So whatever the percentage is from a 1.2 increase with the counties.
Blaine and Crystal do not levy their max potential. Gilmore does, sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, Crystal, that,
So Blaine and Crystal.
Yep. They're the only ones not levying their max.
but like right now, what was do you recall anyone, our historical max that we could reset to theoretically?
Ours is
5.29.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
working at,
5.29.
we're working at
And
And our,
2/3.
and our current is what?
3.2399.
3.23 from 5, so it's
2
almost
mils.
2 mils. Call it 2 mils for ease of, and we're talking about an increase of 1.2. So it's a little over half.
And an interesting, like, what year was it actually?
1982.
82 it was,
And then
Right.
it was 5,
1.21, you were right.
and
just seen it on
and
the-
with all, with inflation. and
Years, right?
everything
Oh, yeah.
Across the board for
reeling 'em off, you
50
know?
years, or it's
You see it
40
every
years,
time.
45 years, it's like 40 years.
So,
He's really good at math and spreadsheets, so he's gonna figure out that.
Yay!
but seriously,
Not
if I'm let me make sure my logic is right here. This is told back of the napkin, but I mean, back of the napkin math, if we've got about a 2 mil difference between our historical and our current,
Mhm.
we increase to 1.2 and we do that successfully. Every township that's about 60%, right, of the difference. So
of the
township
current, of the-
township
yeah.
could theoretically raise their max
About
about
60%.
60% of whatever
Yeah.
the difference is between their historical and
I
their current.
think in layman's terms, yes, I think that's how it works.
It's close enough for a layperson to
Yeah.
kind of get it.
Mhm.
All right. That makes sense.
So 1.2 out of 3, what was it? What are we at?
2399.
3.
Yeah, there's a
1.2 isn't.
Yeah.
60% of 3.
It's more like 55%. Nah. Basically, you
No,
talk about 1.2 out of 2.0. So it's a little over half. I was just, like I said, just.
I feel like you guys could just do this for
I know,
another
we
hour.
can- We can keep spiraling. Sorry, I'll stop.
5%.
I'll stop.
No, you're right.
Do
Yeah,
that.
no, you're right, though. You're right on, your way of thinking is on point.
Government funding 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
So do you want your motion worded the same way then, or how do we address the other, millages or what we're actually recommending?
Well,
Cause I feel like we might need to be
right, so,
specific.
so general operating increase of 1.2. While at the same time, absorbing,
Letting those three
Letting-
millages expire.
Which ones, though?
TNT, ACO and SRO.
There you go.
Yep. So allowing those three to expire would be in addition. Are you amending your motion?
I have it all written down too, the
He's got
dates
it.
and everything.
So you're proposing adding animal control into the general fund.
if that's what, if that's what I remember the discussion was with that increase, is that correct?
I had it listed on here.
No, I think.
Months
animal
ago,
con-
but I
think-
had it
I think
separate.
animal control was separate. I think it's just,
That's separate.
I think it's just SR.
I had TNT, jail and SRO, but that was more for when we were talking about doing the whole.
Okay, so the motion is
Yeah.
1.2 increase
And I
with
think it's just SRO. and
SRO and
Yeah.
TNT.
Because the other things we talked about is the needs for
Absorb,
Parks and
being
Rec, the
absorbed.
needs for
Yes.
economic
Right.
development.
More things
The
that,
needs for, potential
cover.
BIS and, those sorts of.
So yeah,
things.
so those
Okay.
two,
so TNT at 0.1, which expires at the end of this year, just so we're all on the same page and voting on this.
Right.
Even though it's at 0.085 or lower, or is it at 0.1?
It's at,
T
it's
is-
lower than that at the
Yeah.
moment. That-
Yeah.
But that's the max that
Right,
it was
that's the
voted
max.
in.
The
Yeah,
max.
which expires this year, and then
Mhm.
the SRO, which is at 1 or 0.14, and it expires in 27.
When does a?
So that would have to be a promise of not collecting it
The
as
SRO,
Correct.
what did you say it was?
SRO.
0.14.
It's
When does animal
0.18
control-
according to the L4029. Reserve officer or resource officer.
No, I just have the 24
Oh, okay.
L4029,
wonder if
and
there was
the
a
max
typo.
levied is 1 or 0.14.
Cause on the 25.
But it is
L40
0.18, date of election 8/22, and it's
Yeah, so it is
0.18.
0.18 and we're right now at a maximum levy of 0.1746. And then the TNC is at a max levy of 0.0970 at the moment.
When does animal control expire?
This year.
This year?
this year.
Yep. Animal
Good,
control
yep.
this year, that is at a 0.14 as a maximum, and we're levying 1358 with the rollback. 0.1358.
From-
minuscule.
From a,
Yeah.
We need more. We need more people.
from a perspective of just logistics. Let's say we put this on the ballot, the commissioners agree, we do the thing, we put it on the ballot for the and part of our commitment is to let those others expire.
Mm-hmm.
If this went down and those others they would presumably not be on the ballot.
Right.
And those
That's
fall off,
the risk.
that puts us in a
Tight.
pretty severe tight spot, I assume,
Up-
yes?
Yeah,
of,
so the reserve officer,
Creek.
the resource officer is actually 27, so that one's
Yeah.
gonna be okay because
TNT.
it's TNT is
Mhm.
And
The res-
expires with this winter tax bill.
That's
and
done
the
after this
animal-
year.
The resource.
control does as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, guys, I would advocate for animal control also falling off. I think if there's more that we can roll in, I think is a good message. But I worry that we put ourselves up against a funding cliff and take and all of a sudden have to shut down animal control and TNT.
And
Like,
people love their animals. in
I
the
know,
county.
I know that.
I do agree with you though, too, and I think it's offering more
Mhm.
by offering more to the public by putting that on there and saying
I
this,
agree,
we've looked at this. We've spent time to look at it.
Mhm.
We've done the math. We've had empathy. We've had understanding of it. And this is what we've come up with, and this is what we're willing to.
And I think at that point, you're extending
Let
some trust to
follow.
your community to say, I know
Yep.
that you love this
Mhm.
and this is what we need. This is, and at that point, it does become an issue that maybe people have to make some choices.
Mhm.
They can say, this is really important to me. And now that it goes away if we can't do this.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't,
So I might have to make a decision that I'm not huge on, but that benefits
Right.
other things and
realistically, it's a lot of things, but that's one thing that's very visible.
Yep.
I don't know.
So if
And it's a lower tax burden.
yeah.
so on the 1.2, hypothetically, again,
So if we-
absorbs these other smaller millages, what would be the net increase in the millage for a taxpayer?
If it were,
Figured.
Yeah, we've had that figured
so,
out.
so if we were to
Point
absorb,
7.8.
0.78?
If we're including animal control as,
If you include animal
we
control.
include, if we, if,
0.78 increase into the general fund.
if we included animal control, would it make more sense to make it 1.3? One
Well,
point,
that's the thing is, we know animal control needs more staff, and we have just begun conversations with Grand Traverse to regionalize the animal shelter. And I don't know where that's gonna go. It may not happen, but there's momentum to have those conversations. And so I hate to, that's on the onset. If we bring it into the general fund, are we just gonna pull it right back out if we do a special millage because we're regionalizing?
I think we leave it, we leave it out myself. I understand, I completely follow your guys' line of thinking and I agree with you, but
It's your motion.
well, they're hard decisions.
yeah, that's my
you know?
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah, yeah, no, I got you.
What about if we leave everything the way it is with the smaller millages on the ballots coming up, and we only increase it the net increase that we're asking I forgot, 8.7,
7.8.
7, 8.
If that's what you ask for, would that be an easier pill to swallow for the taxpayer than
Well, then they're
1.2?
gonna see like 7 millages on the ballot though, 'cause
Yeah.
these others are expiring.
Which
so
is
they're
already
all
an
gonna be on the
issue.
Ballot.
Yeah.
And then we have ballot fatigue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna
pick
say
those
yes to
others
this
to
many
say
and
no.
no to this.
Yeah.
Ballot fatigue is
Oh, yeah.
real. I think we have to bundle some to show
Yeah.
good good faith.
That's,
If you took out
Bundling, that's the word
control,
we've
it's a
been
net
using.
increase of 0.92.
If you just take off the other two.
So if you just did SRO and TNT, the 0.92.
so. I remember when we talked about this, correct me if I'm wrong, but the 1.2 was a difference of about $2 million. Yes? Does that sound right?
Yes, just over 2 million.
Yep. I just noticed a hand raised in the
I was gonna
audience.
say,
And I also don't want to violate Robert's rules. So
it's up to the chair.
Yep.
you want to recognize an audience member?
Yeah, we'll recognize the gentleman with his hand raised.
Same reason, that's why I sat there with the hand just waiting my turn. I was just gonna ask a question for clarity when we talk about the 1.2. When we talk about it supporting dispatch, is that supporting dispatch in a status quo? Or that 10-year plan that was a rough result of needing a 0.6 mil in that 10-year plan?
Not really up to
Not-
us.
No, well, it is because you're making a motion for 1.2. So
But
that's why I
that-
was asking
The inner workings of how that's used that's a board of
Right.
commissioners.
But what I'm
decision.
asking for a little bit of clarity on is when you say 1.2, are you considering in the 1.2 the status quo of dispatch or the additional funding? Future.
I think we're talking about the
that is in
additional,
the same
we're
year.
talking about the additional funding.
Because there was 2 conversations about dispatch is short 230,000
We're,
somewhere
we're,
in
we're
there.
aware
this
that,
year.
we're aware
but
that the
then-
status quo isn't gonna fly. I mean,
Right.
So
So when it comes to the 2 million, that's why I asked that question about, so it's $2 million. And
Well,
we
here
think
it
about
comes.
what are we
it's
like,
actually 1.7 million if you take out what would already be allocated to SRO and TNT.
gotcha,
1.2 mils is 2.2 million.
correct.
But when you take out SRO and TNT, what would be allocated for those services, you're looking at 1.75 million.
Right. And I know that we're short currently in
Dispatch
dispatch.
by about 230.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I
And
mean,
we have a need for parks.
right,
Parks management, there's a need for money for economic development potentially. There could be needs in other places when it comes to the building department, equalization. I mean, you just,
Across the board.
Well, and I don't think it's inappropriate for us to maybe even meet one more time after we vote on this. Because we still haven't agreed on this, to come up with an actual recommendation of the nuts and bolts of it. And then give an addendum to it that says that as part of our recommendation, we acknowledge that
Let's vote on, let's
dispatch.
vote on this thing first and then we'll see how that goes.
Well,
Because we're not going to come up with that tonight, but I'm just saying
I don't
in,
know
in
that we need-
addition
I don't
to
know if we
that.
Need to.
I don't, honestly, like, I'm not sure that, I wonder if that's getting out of our lane.
Yeah, I agree.
Because ultimately, the county commission are the ones that are charged
We
with
gotta figure that. out.
overseeing the budget. And honestly, Katie is the one and her staff are charged with allocating the tax revenue into whatever line items are needed.
Yeah.
And figuring out that balance. That's where, like, I think.
I'm just
the
trying to answer
question-
his question.
No,
as
for
to
sure. And
what-
I
yeah,
respect the
yeah.
question.
And I
you know-
we don't control that.
We're talking about,
Anyway,
at this
so-
point, the county's coming to us with, we have an issue with a shortfall of revenue and, we're trying to fix that shortfall of revenue.
Mhm.
How they determine to allocate that, I think is
Mhm.
really, I think we're getting outside of our lane at that point,
Mhm.
personally. Like, and we're talking about generating at this point, 1.7 million in extra revenue. We are aware right now of a $230,000 shortfall in one department, another shortfall, here, like even with a couple of those shortfalls, we're still at
probably
1.2, 1.3 million. That's not allocated. Now, we've got a thing here that says there's a long-term 10-year plan. Whether or not that's part of that, all of that, some of that, I think personally, I would say that's beyond us. Like that.
It would be a commission.
Absolutely. That's what I need. Yeah,
Right,
that's a
so-
commissioner's decision.
So like, I respectfully, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think I would really hesitate to try to say like, do we need to
Even
come up
start
with-
going down that
like,
road.
If we took that at
Okay.
face value and said, so do we need to come up with more? Ugh, like we've already struggled to come up to
Yeah.
1.2.
Yeah.
I think like at that point, it's out of our
Yeah, it's
hands.
not.
Okay.
That's my humble take.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't disagree. My intent of the question was just around when you arrive at 1.2,
No, that's.
part was
yeah,
being considered because you're having the conversation
course.
of what that amount should be.
course.
And they're gonna ask that question, right? Like what was thought about in that, or they're watching.
My guess is that there's a possibility of spending that 1.2 multiple times. There's lots of ways that people
Sure.
can, but there's still gonna have to be decisions. There's still gonna be shortfalls. There's still,
Well, and I don't think we're going to be making the Board of Commissioners aware of the shortfalls. If they don't already know them, then,
the
you know.
next thing is we're getting past the need and starting to get into wants at that point.
Sure.
I think that this should get us, the commissioners should be able to get to the needs
Mhm.
and maybe get to a few
Yeah.
wants.
Well, and it satisfies the task that we've been given.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I see where you're coming from with that too.
So we have a motion, but in our motion, if it hasn't been modified yet, so we're gonna take out a few line item things. That's gonna be our recommendation along with the 1.2 with the caveat of having these other ones expire, fall off.
Correct.
Mandy, do you have
TNT and
like
SRO.
do you have it written? Like, can you?
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read
Send
what
it back?
yeah. And then ask her if she still supports it,
Right.
because you already supported it. Jason moves that we recommend a general operating increase of 1.2 mils and absorb TNT and SRO millages. I'll write those out too. And let the millages expire.
That's correct.
What about putting verbiage in there
I'll amend my support for that.
up to 1.2? Because then that gives them hope that they're not gonna have.
Well,
all.
that's how all ballot language
Yeah.
would be
So
written. It'll say up to, yep.
Yeah, the agency always has the option to levy less.
Right.
It's a
Yes,
max.
it's
It's
a
a-
37% increase, not a 60. Bad math.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Good job, guys.
much
That's
is
what I'm like, we're.
37%.
That's what I was saying.
How did I?
Matt doesn't believe it.
I'm not.
No.
Doesn't matter. I'm just
We were talking
clarifying.
about all
for the
three of 'em.
record. It's
Yeah.
37%,
Yeah.
not 60%.
Right.
No, so that's a fairly significant
That's
difference.
what I was saying, like it's a third,
Back
more
in
like
that-
a third.
back-
That's
my
30,
brain is not working.
that's 37% just on the county's general operating, but then if you were to subtract SRO and TNT, obviously the percentage comes down quite a bit. But
Gotcha,
for
okay.
township purposes, I think you would say theirs would also increase to 37%.
37%
Their
potential.
new mill would be, it's all different.
Right.
Yeah. And is that something that we need to add to it as well? So that's
I
what I'm
would
just
think
kind of, I don't
so,
really
like-
know.
To
Well,
allow,
because you're saying in the millage 1.2, but I think we need to clarify 1.2 relative to the same incremental increase for every township or something like.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think that it needs to be part of it at all, because I think
If it's already the law,
it's
statutorily
it's exactly right. It's
Yeah.
just how it works.
again, it's outside of what we, yeah.
Mhm.
just so long as the commission is very aware of it, because that's a big part of our why.
Yep.
Right? Like, I know that's definitely
Mhm.
something that's driving my thinking.
For sure.
Okay. So I have Jason's motion and Kelly's support.
Are we,
All for it.
do we want to call the vote? Do we
Yep.
need to talk anymore? I'd feel a lot better if we were all just making sure, like, if anyone isn't on the same page, I'd love to talk about it more, because I think it sends a strong message if it's 5-0 as opposed to 4-1 or 3-2. So I don't, I don't mean to prejudge the result, but if we need to talk about it, we good?
All in favor?
You want to do a roll call?
Do a roll
Oh,
call?
Do a roll call?
Yeah.
Katie?
Aye, yes.
Oh, I gotta do KZ and KL. Kelly?
Yes.
Mandy says aye. Randy?
Against my better judgment, but yes, aye.
Aye. Matt?
Aye.
And Jason?
Yep.
Motion
Motion
passed.
passes.
Nice work.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's a step
Oh,
over.
we still have, we have to do,
Soon.
we have to do public comment before we.
Yes, we're not quite done.
Well, and yeah, before we move on too, so obviously this would go now to the Board of Commissioners. What does the timing look like for all of you? Randy, as the chair, I would hope you would come to the Board of Commissioners meeting. Obviously Kelly and I would be there.
Yep.
But if the other three of you want to come, we'd welcome it. And so I want to make
Which
sure.
meeting?
So that's what I'm gonna ask you. So we have October 28th, November 12th, whatever that Tuesday is before Thanksgiving, and then December 9th, and then we're done for the year.
November?
November.
November 12th is a Wednesday, because we did move it a day because of Veterans Day.
The 28th is fine, and the 12th,
What was the last option?
The 25th of November or December 9th.
I mean, the
I'm
20,
sorry, could you repeat
this,
those options again.
October
please?
28th is fine.
Okay, November 12th, November 25th, and December 9th.
I'm good on the 28th and the 25th.
I can't do any of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Middle of the day commissioners meeting.
I'm literally gonna be out of town all of those days.
Yeah.
It's like you,
Right.
just to coincide when I'm.
Just for you.
Middle of the day.
I'll be down in Lansing.
How about the
Sorry.
25th?
Well, I was
The
gonna
November
suggest,
25th, right before Thanksgiving.
I was gonna suggest the 12th, only because.
That's what I was thinking.
It's,
Wednesday.
12.
it's, you know, it's earlier than later and
Let's do this. Just be a long day.
Anyone at Deer Camp?
More time?
Nope.
So the meeting starts at 9 a.m., so it'd be under the action item, new business. So by 9.
You make sure it's like A, like new business A.
Yeah. I'll
It
make a
doesn't
note.
get moved to correspondence and. So if I drive all the way over here. So the November 12th, Wednesday, November 12th, Board of Commissioners meeting.
Yeah.
It will be on that agenda. Okay. Perfect.
I have faith in you all and I will be with you in spirit. Sorry.
No, I get
I
it.
realize like.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch it live.
Just, yeah.
I will be in another thrilling meeting, so
Yes.
I can't be in a meeting.
And watch another thrilling meeting.
So
You can watch it later.
truly, you guys you'll be great. And like.
Is there any, not to interrupt you,
Oh, you're good.
public comment? Well, like I said, been nice, been a pleasure.
Thanks, Randy.
Or
You did a great job, man.
Well, don't go say goodbye too fast.
We don't know.
Everybody-
They could have
Where-
this
where they're
sent
gonna
right
go.
back to us.
Awesome.
Yep.
No, it was what is this, our fifth meeting?